So I spent my teenage years watching many of the classic British sitcoms, including Blackadder and Fawlty Towers, due to their great legacy. One that came in pretty late though with me was Dad's Army, a comedy set during World War II about the British Home Guard. I first watched an episode of the show while in a hotel in London, just after coming back from holiday. I really enjoyed it. Therefore, I constantly tried to catch up on the repeats that were played every Saturday evening on BBC Two. Now, upon first hearing about this movie, I was a little bit confused at first as to why they had decided to do this, as pretty much all the original cast were dead, minus Frank Williams and Ian Lavender. But upon hearing it, with newer casting talent including Toby Jones, Bill Nighy, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Michael Gambon and Blake Harrison, Neil from the Betweeners, due to this casting, I began to gain an interest in seeing this movie, and I also liked the homage that was being made to the original series, with Frank Williams returning as the Vicar, and Ian Lavender as the last member of the platoon, making a cameo in the movie as Brigadier Pritchard. So, in this movie, there is a German spy who has been sending messages to Berlin from Warmington-on-Sea, and it is the job of Captain Mannering and his platoon to discover who it is, whilst at the same time, female journalist Rose Winters, played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, is visiting the town to write an article on the army. Now, regardless of what other critics have said, I actually thought this was a really good movie. Is it better than the original series? No, of course not. But this remake does the best it can to pay homage to the show, and the 1971 movie. But I can definitely say that it was really good. The majority of people who were in the cinema screen I was in looked over 55, and they did seem to enjoy a lot of the scenes because they were laughing a lot at the funny moments. While looking at the casting decisions, some were able to pull off their roles pretty well. The one in particular being Frank Williams returning as the Vicar, and despite aging 40 years since he last portrayed him, he was still able to play the part exactly the same. And I also found that being older actually helped show his character better. Other plus points that helped link the series to the film, including the well-known "stupid boy" line from Captain Mannering to Private Pike being included, and the original style ending with the "You Have Been Watching" segment provided by the classic series theme song, definitely helped give a bit of nostalgia towards the older fans. Throughout the platoon, some of their characters, I found them to also be performed rather well too. I knew that from the off that these cast members would not perform as well as their original counterparts, as many of the people will still remember them as they were back in the late 60s and 70s. Of the cast, I found the best performed was Blake Harrison as Private Pike. As we know Harrison for his portrayal of Neil Sutherland, I noticed when watching a few old episodes of the show that Pike had the same level of stupidity. As a result, seeing the movie, I felt, although not of the same standards as Ian Lavender, Blake Harrison was definitely the best choice to have played Pike. My other favourite to the cast included Daniel Mays as Private Joe Walker, a character I was glad to have seen return to this movie actually, because his original actor James Beckett died during illness during the original series, and his character was written out. What I remember most from his original character was him obtaining illegal rations which he would sell to members of the platoon in a sort of black market style. For example, providing Corporal Jones with food for his butcher's shop. One episode I particularly remember was him stealing a bunch of pigeons from Trafalgar Square, and them being used to sell in the shop. I enjoyed the new concept of this character, and while trying not to spoil what he does become a great help with the platoon in their times of need. Of the other members in the platoon, there were some plus points. Firstly was Sergeant Wilson, played by Bill Nighy. Again, while not being able to live up to the quality of John Le Mesurier, I see this as another one of the well-portrayed characters, and some of the development we get between him and Mrs. Pike is well done. Again, a more homage to the original series, as well as Private Pike calling him Uncle Arthur once again. Throughout the film, I found this to be the next best modern-day newer performance, and I began to feel that had Bill Nighy been the age he is back when the series was made, I definitely could have seen him in the role if John Le Mesurier hadn't been available. Of the cast that weren't as good, the ones who could have had done more done to them included Private Fraser, this time played by Bill Patterson. I only really remember one good scene with him and that was during the climax, and he was rather dull the rest of the time, not really saying much compared to the original counterpart, played by John Laurie. The same is probably said with Godfrey, this time played by Michael Gambon, with the exception of this scene from the trailer and one part of the climax. There really isn't much that this character had compared to Arnold Ridley counterpart. Granted, the lines he says at these points are talking about what he can say in German, which does turn out to be really funny. Now, looking at this version of Captain Mannering, I can definitely say I preferred Arthur Lowe a lot more over Toby Jones in the role. I kind of felt when watching him there wasn't much to enjoy out of him. Granted, he had huge shoes to fill as such an iconic character, but when watching the movie, I could see that Jones was trying, and I do appreciate him for this. However, when looking at the character himself, There was one major factor, which was a running theme from the original series, that was lacking a bit in the movie, and that was his rivalry with Air Raid Warden Hodges. The reason I disliked this was mainly because Hodges was hardly in the film, and it was one main factor I really think could have increased positivity towards Jones's Mannering if it had been put in, because we could have seen him portray this compared to the way Arthur Lowe had done it, and definitely something that should have been expanded upon. Like I said earlier about Catherine Zeta-Jones' character as Rose Wilson, again, I don't really want to spoil too much about her character. I found mainly her appearance being here was more comic relief half the time. This is due to the fact that Mannering, Wilson and Pike all have a crush on her and are constantly battling to win her affection, which is pretty funny at times, including one scene where they are each individually arrive at her house and they are doing their best to avoid being caught. However, what still remains funny with this, though, was the fact that they all had their own partners stroke wives at the time, and it's even more hilarious when Mrs. Pike catches Frank there and then sees Wilson outside trying to escape. Overall, I think you should watch the movie and see for yourself what kind of character Rose Winters really is. So overall, out of 10, I would give this film a 7, due to its great slapstick and really enjoyable moments, and you should definitely see this if you did watch the show in the past, or still do on repeats today, as there are some great moments which everyone will enjoy. And it's a really good attempt for a remake of a classic series with a new cast, but granted that was good, it doesn't mean they should decide to do it for other classics. This has been a review by JangoFett220. Please like, comment and subscribe for more videos, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram and Gemma to stay updated. See you next time.